Hi everyone, it's time to continue the Mordheim campaign with the Middenheimers who take a move against the Skaven. And for the Middenheimers, they're continuing venturing up further north, the river along, onto the bridge. And to be honest, the rules are not as clear how to use the location rules, but nonetheless, they are fighting over this district and it's against the Skaven. As always, the Night Wolves are led by Captain Gunnar, the captain with the halberd in the center, flanked by his remaining champion, Ylva Feuerskind, with 2 axes, and her daughter, the youngblood Miko. On the other side, the marksman hero, the Red Hood, along with the second youngblood, Hagen Hammerschlag. On the stairs, 2 marksmen, Hanamiri and the elf ranger, Urme. And further down on the left, 2 swordsmen with Morningstar and shield, they have an additional attack. 2 swordsmen with double-handed weapon, +1 weapon skill. Single swordsman with sword and shield, and the pit fighter Tatjana, who has 3 attacks by now. The Skaven are led by the assassin adept, Shadowfang. He's armed with weeping blades, lucky charm, and has an additional dagger from his tail fighting. On his left side is the Ashen Sorcerer Whisper, and to his right, the Night Runner Deadeye with a crossbow. 1 step down, in the center, Startail, the Black Skaven with fighting claws. His counterpart, Zigzag, is out for the next 3 matches, so he will be fighting alone. Though the second Night Runner, Pisspels, with throwing stars, is on the way. And Barnabas, the Warlock, who knows the Luck of Shemtek and the Sword of Razabel with an additional weapon skill. On the floor, 2 giant rats, 2 club rats and 1 spear rat. The Verminkin all have +1 strength. And the latest acquisition, the XV88, the clan Scryer Red Ogre with singular Sponson Warpstone Flamer. So, as you can see, and probably from the title of the video, it's time to enter the dungeon. So I finished a bunch of dungeon tiles, and this is an example layout I managed to build so far. I have more dungeon tiles to build and to paint, but as of now I can fill a 4x4 table, reducing the deployment zones so everybody is as far apart as within a regular Mordheim table. For the mission, it's gonna be a street fight, so you can break through the other side, and the first hero to do so gets 2 additional experience points. But the winning condition is still to make the other warband rout, so even if you break through and get some heroes to the other side, it's not a victory per se. Yeah, so with the dungeon I will try to do some different things. I have a couple more scatter terrain pieces to build and paint, so the dungeon looks not as empty as of now. But this game will act more like a test game, trying to see how the dungeon works within the flow of the battle, line of sights, movement, objectives, all the things. Yeah, just trying out how to work with this. And Middenheim starts the battle with the first turn, all moving up into the center, getting into position to shoot down some lanes. And yeah, a lot of empty spaces to fill with scattered terrain later on, where I will try to make some dedicated rooms, like a big library, for instance. And yeah, starting with the Skaven, they need to make a check if the Scryer Red Ogre works, and on a 1 there is a misfunction, but 2+, he works normally, but he can't run, so he will slumber slowly behind the other vermin. And yes, like in every Mordheim game, first round getting position. Here you can see some firing lanes are already able to be drawn. Because it's in a dungeon, you probably don't have great overview over the whole battle, but there are some corridors, lanes to fire along, so shooty warbands are at a disadvantage, but not totally useless. Alright, Hagen and Swordsman Life are entering the corner room of blood and preparing for the giant rats and the black Skaven. In the center, it's a stare-off, a walled stare-off, so to say, and some firing lanes to maybe scare the verminkin off. As on the other side, there is some shooting to do. Anna, but she had to run to get into position, so this turn, no shooting. Maybe next time, as Night Wolf's preparing for the attack of the vermin. Starting with the Red Ogre, he rolls a 4, so he can act as normal. Black Skaven alongside with the 2 giant rats entering the Room of Blood. Then, did forget to mention, there are some brown furred giant rats. Those are summoned by the Ashen Sorcerer at the start of the battle. And on the left flank for the Skaven, they're trying to surround the mercenaries of Middenheim. Then continuing with magic, Barnabas again trying to cast his sword, needing an 8, it's just a 4. And then Whisper trying to cast Nordheim. No line of sight needed, so I reckon he can sense the Yumis on the other side of the wall. With 7, it's enough. And looking how much hits he gets. 12 hits, that's a lot. And with strength 1, 6s are needed. Another single 6. That's a turn. Leif and Hagen, well, they have no other option than to charge themselves. Also, Tatjana and the X-Men are getting 4th because they are getting killed by magic if they don't do so. In the center, getting into better position to wait the vermin. And then some shooting to do for Middenheim, but a 3 is a miss. Close combat, starting with the swordsman. He attacked, so he can reroll the first try to hit. And he hits on a 3 and wounds on a 5. No save for the giant rat. And on the injury roll, it's a stunned. Therefore, Hagen attacks the second giant rat, but he needs a 4 to hit, so the giant rat can attack back. And needing a 4 as well. That's a 1. Tie. First up, trying to see if the Red Ogre functions as normal. 6, it does. Then Startail attacked as well to save the giant rat, and the giant rat takes the charge, accompanied by Whisper and the club rat. On the other flank, they are continuing to venture along this corridor, and the other rats getting into position, as well as the giant rat ogre. And he has a Warpstone Flamer and trying to shoot at the swordsman with the 2-handed hammer, needing a 4 to hit. He hits on a 5. Then strength 4, so he needs a 3 to wound, and fails to wound. Then Barnabas trying to cast his sword again. 6 fails as well. Then Whisper again trying to cast Nordheim, and he gets a 7. It's good enough. So 6 hits in total. Then again needing 6s to wound. There are 2 6s. That's 2 wounds. And no saves, so stunned. Close combat. Startail attacked and helping the giant rat. He has 4 attacks in total, hitting 2 times, and yeah, no parry from the swordsman. Then strength 4, toughness 3, being a 3 to wound. 1 wound. No armor save for the swordsman. And he's stunned. And then the giant rat attacks first against Hagen, needing a 4 to hit, hits on a 5. And strength 3, toughness 3, it's a 4 to wound, no wound on a 1. Hagen taking back, needing a 4 to hit, he hits. And a 4 to wound as well. It's a tie again. The giant rat attacks and hits the gladiator. And it's a 5 to wound. That's not a wound, so Tatjana can attack back. 3 attacks with the warning star, 1 with the fist, 3 hits with the Morning Star and just 1 wound. But maybe it's enough. And it's a 6. It's a kill. Now the distance is closed and every side getting into combat. Tatiana killing the Giant Rat and going forth onto the Verminkin. The Assassin still waiting in the shadows. And Captain Gunnar attacking the summoned Giant Rats, as did Isolde with the 2-handed hammer. Then Red Hood has sight on the Red Ogre. And down Miko just holding her ground. Hannah starting a shooting phase, shooting at Deadeye, hitting on a 4. And wounding on a 6 with a critical wound. But it just ignores armor saves. So on the injury table it's a 2, so Deadeye goes to the ground. Then Red Hood has sight on the Red Ogre, 2 shots, needing 4s and 2 misses. Captain Gunnar attacking the Giant Rats. And they have to pass a fear check, because Captain Gunnar has scars. And on a 6 they failed, so let's attack with Captain Gunnar. He hits on a 5. Wounds on a 3 and stuns the Giant Rat. Isolde charged the Spear Rat, therefore the Spear attacks first, hits on a 5 and needing a 3 to wound. Well, we can have strength 4 by now. Oh, not enough to wound. Isolde hits on a 5 and needs a 2 to wound. That's a wound. The injury table is stunned again. Tatiana attacking the Club Rat, 4 attacks in total. Hitting 3 times, and strength 4, toughness 3, and 3 hits, or 3 wounds, and 1 is a critical. And a critical on a blunt weapon, 6 is instant death, and the other ones, yeah, kill them as well. Then Startail attacking the swordsman who's down on the ground, and there's a 6, so he kills the one. Then the Giant Rat attacks Hagen, hitting first. Needing another 1 to hit, and Hagen hits on a 5, and he needs a 4 to wound. Wounds on a 5 again, and on the injury table, just knocked down. And the Giant Rat back on his feet, and Startail attacking also, and after he kills Hagen, he may break through. The other Giant Rat going to support the Assassin, who could see Tatiana, and with a charge range of 12 inches, it's long enough. Also Whisper attacking the downed swordsman. Miko is getting ganged up, and the Scryer Red Ogre charges, but he has to roll a die if he functions as normal. So let's do this now. And a 4 means he can actually do what he wants to do, and charge. And that's how it looks in the center. Shooting phase, Piss Pants with his throwing stars, needing a 5 to hit, misses on a 4. Deadeye also shooting on Hannah, 2 hits, 2 shots, and 2 misses. Magic again, Barnabas trying to cast his sword, and this time it succeeds. And down there, Whisper trying to cast Nordum again, this time on Ilva, the champion, in an 8. That's a success as well. See how many hits. That's 8 hits. The 8 dice, getting a 6, 2 6s. So no armor for Ilva, so she is stunned as well. Then again, close combat, starting with Startail. He attacked, 4 attacks in total, hitting 3 times. Then with strength 4, he needs a 3 to wound. And those are 3 wounds, 2 criticals. And the critical, yeah, 2 wounds instead of 1, so 3 in total. First 2 kill him, and he can go through. Now it is time for the assassin to attack Tatiana, the Pit Fighter. And he has 2 attacks with his Weeping Blade, and then the 3rd attack with his Dagger from tail fighting. 2 hits, no parry for Tatiana. And strength 4 against toughness 4, needing a 4 to wound, 2 wounds, and going straight through the armor. And double stunned. Whisper just needing to wound the swordsman who's on the ground, and 4 is good enough. Captain Gunnar also needs a 2+, and he kills the giant rat. Then Barnabas with his flaming sword of Restless. He has 2 attacks and hits 1 time on a 6. And with +2 strength, he needs a 2 to wound. That's a 6 critical wound with it's a sword attack basically, and 5 means 2 injuries and +2 on the injury table. 6 is good enough. Then the Red Ogre. 3 attacks. 3 misses. Alright. Do not forget the fear check, and Swordsman makes it. Then the Swordsman with high weapon skill, he hits 2 times. Warning star, strength 4, and needing a 4 to wound. Okay, not looking that good for the Night Wolves of Middenheim, but let's see what they can do. There's still some shooting to do and getting into close combat. Fear check for Barnabas, being attacked by the scarred Captain Gunnar. He passes on a 7. Orme getting forward and trying to shoot on the Verminkin who's down on the ground. You can barely see him, just behind the corner. Well, Pit Fighter surely dies, and down there Startail breaking through. Then going into the shooting phase, Orme trying to shoot and misses completely. After this, Red Hood shooting on Deadeye, hitting 1 time and wounding 1 time. And on the injury table, just stunned. Then Hannah trying to finish it off. Hits on a 4. Wounds on a 4. Stuns on a 4. Alright, Miko attacking the giant rat, hitting on a 5, wounding on a 4, and killing it on a 6 straight away. Then the swordsman against the red ogre hitting on a 3 because he has higher weapon skill, beating a 5 to wound this time. Wounds on a 6. The red ogre has a 4+ armor save, and 3 is not enough, so he can strike back and hitting 1 time and needing a 3 to wound, and triple 1. Captain Gunnar attacking Barnabas, sorcerer. He misses on a 2, so sorcerer can strike back 2 attacks and hits 1 time on a 3, and then fails to wound. The assassin attacking the pit fighter who's down on the ground, 3 attacks, just 1 4+ is enough, and he kills. Well, actually, they have enough Skaven died, so they need to pass a morale check on a 7, and a 5 is good enough. Then the red ogre also needs to pass, and oh, he actually rolls a 1. Then again, on the table, it's a 2. That means it goes berserk, which means you basically lose control over the red ogre. It runs in a random direction each turn and charges the nearest model, friend or foe, but he's already in close combat, so he stays where he is. Barnabas trying to keep his sword, so he has to pass a leadership check, and 7 is good enough. 2 Skaven attacking Miko, then Deadeye is crawled into cover. Orme being attacked by the assassin, who saw him just barely behind the corner. Whisper attacking Ilva, who's down on the ground. It's an easy kill for him. Therefore going straight into magic, casting Norddoom on an 8. It's a success. So 8 hits again. And needing 6s, there are 3 6s. And on the injury table, just stunned. Barnabas also trying to cast Luck of Shemtek, and on a 7 it's good enough. Then Whisper trying to kill Ilva. 1 4+ 6 is a kill. Armor save, not good enough. The assassin trying to kill Ogre. 3 attacks in total. And hitting 2 times. Once with the Weeping Blade and one again with the Dagger from tail fighting. Then strength 4, hitting a 3 to wound. Yes, 1 wound from the Dagger. And the injury table 5 is a kill. Captain Gunnar trying to kill the traitorous warlock who aligned himself with the foul verminkin, hitting on a 4, wounding on a 3, but just knocking him down. The red ogre being attacked by the swordsman, swordsman hitting 2 times, hitting a 5 to wound. No wound at all, then 3 attacks back, maybe he can hit this time, yes, 1 hit, and wounding on a 3. That's just bad luck. Then Miko, she has a spear, attacking first the hero Piss Pelts, but 3 is not enough to hit. Then the red trying to hit back, misses on 1, and the second one hits on a 3. It's a 4 to wounds, and a 6 is killed. That's the turn for the Skaven, and the Night Wolves of Middenheim will retreat. Therefore, Skaven won the battle. Well, didn't went as planned, as the Night Wolves would hope. But the casualties not being that devastating. Well, they lost 1 swordsman with double-handed weapon, and Ormel, the Elf Ranger, died. But Miko survived and got frenzy in the process, and everyone in the Warband got a level up. Captain Gunnar +1 weapon skill, champion Ilva +1 initiative. Miko, aside from frenzy, got mighty blow. Hagen +1 weapon skill as well. And the Red Hood learned a second skill. She's a trick shooter now, so ignoring cover saves. Then for the henchmen, the Morningstar group showed some talent, and the lad Samson leveled up with a skill, becoming a 6 hero with resilient now. The other henchmen, swordsman with double-handed weapon, got +1 initiative. Swordsman with sword and shield, +1 weapon skill. Marksman +1 attack, woo! And a second marksman added to the group. And Marksman Miri got +1 initiative. That's nice for getting into position, climbing up walls, etc. Then the Pit Fighter, she got her 4th attack. She's a beast now. So all in all, not that bad, I would say. For the Skaven, it went pretty darn good. They found a bunch of Wordstone, 7 in total, 4 from the game and 3 from the place. Sold a bunch, hired 2 new Verminkin with slings, and leveled up a bunch of heroes and henchmen. Shadowfang, the assassin, learned a new skill. He can sprint now. Zigzag misses the next 2 matches as of now. Startail, +1 leadership, woo! And the Ashen Sorcerer got +1 attack, and he bought a second sword, so he has 3 attacks in close combat now. That's nice. His spells +1 initiative, and did I level up next time. The existing Verminkin group both got +1 initiative, and Barnabas is also close to leveling up next time. And here's the campaign map so far. The Skaven taking control over the center bridge. And that's for the video today. Thank you for watching. Until the next video, have a good one.